Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black.
This is it, Satan. For the sake of our most glorious project, you will die today!
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Supreme, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the most recent tier list made by myself and The Legend, whose links will be in the description down below, so make sure you go and check him out. But yeah, let's get into it, starting off with the Z tier and moving down the tiers, explaining a little bit about who's changed in position since the last time I made a video on this topic, and talking about how the meta shifted a little bit. So let's start with LF Gohan, of course, who is first in the Z tier, and he is so good. You could honestly just bring 18 down here and leave him on his own up there because he's just incredible. He's brilliant, and you can't debate him being in that #1 spot. He's just a cheat code, and he's pretty much ruined PvP since he's been out, because if you don't have him and your opponent does, or vice versa, it's just not fair. He is just incredible. The damage he deals is stupid. He can one combo anyone or just solo any team. It's just ridiculous. And the only reason 18 is not closer to Gohan in this aspect, like 18's good. She's a Z plus tier unit, of course, but she's not close to Gohan. And the reason why I think is because she's yellow, and of course Gohan is a direct counter to her. So that kind of, hinders her a little bit. But if she was red like Gohan, for example, just any other color, she would honestly be as good as Gohan in my opinion. I just think she's incredible. The damage she outputs is stupid. She buffs herself with every strike she uses. She draws green cards to turn her blast into strike. She reduces her strike cost, and just the other day I was playing a match with her and I had her strike cost at 3 and level 3 draw speed. So you can kind of see the picture I'm painting with that. I was drawing 2 cards per sidestep and just doing incredible amounts of damage, and you can honestly one combo any unit. She can even do it against reds. She's that good. If it's not an LF Gohan, for example, or a really tanky red unit, she's gonna do the damage, and she's gonna take out a red unit if she has to. Same thing with Gohan and blue units. He can do the damage. He can just do anything you want him to do, and that's why these 2 units are in the Z plus tier. The only reason this Goku Super Saiyan 3 isn't in the Z plus tier is because he's missing card draw speed. That's what 18 has over this Goku. It's the only thing that she has over this Goku. This guy is incredible. The damage he deals is monstrous, and he's just an incredible unit all round that you could honestly put here, 3rd place in the Z plus tier, and you could have a good argument for that. But I just don't think he's on the level of an 18 or an LF Gohan, simply because if you're in a 1v3 situation with 18, every time a unit comes in for the opponent, you're going to get a draw speed increase. With this Goku, you don't have that draw speed increase, so you're not going to be drawing cards as much, and you're not going to be at an advantage when it comes to taking out a full team, whereas with 18 or with Gohan, you can do that easily. And that's the only problem. I say problem, it's not really a problem because of the amount of damage this guy deals, but it's the only thing he doesn't have in his kit that would make him just ridiculous. So that's why he is in the Z tier. He is in the 3rd position, so he's definitely still a great unit, of course. In 4th position we have the Rose. This guy has surprised me so much. Honestly, he is incredible. I'm a big Rose fan, everyone knows that, and I obviously, bigged him up a lot when he released, but now that I've got to use him more, he's just impressed me so much. Honestly, his damage is ridiculous. When you use a couple green cards and his main ability, and the amount of time stalling you can get from that, you can trap your opponent in the time frame when you're using a green card, so you can always tell what the opponent's doing and use that to your advantage. It's just disgusting. This guy is honestly incredible. He gains ki all the time. He reduces your opponent's ki when your opponent's using cards, and not just that, he's just healing all over the place with his main abilities, with his green cards, and when he takes damage all the time. It's just amazing. So that's why he is number 4, and that's why he is the best non-Zenkai unit. I know a lot of people will say it's Vegito Blue. You're probably wondering, where is he? He's right there. He's right there, as you can see in the corner of the screen. We'll get to him in a minute. Let's go with Cell now. Cell is just I mean, he's so good, and people don't see the beauty in this cell. You're not meant to sacrifice this cell. He's not a unit that's meant to be sacrificed. You're meant to use him like a normal unit, and when it comes to the opponent using Rising Rush, you either throw him in the middle, or you throw the guy behind him, which is 16. If you throw one of these two units in there, you're not going to lose a unit. It's as simple as that. Cell can just transform into his perfect form, and he just becomes an absolute monster. He's great because he has 2 health bars. He's basically got 2 lives, which is just incredible. It's like having 4 units, and you imagine using Cell, 18 and 16 all at Zenkai 7, except Cell of course because he's not a Zenkai, but 16 and 18 at the Zenkai 7 and the Cell, it's like having 4 units. It's just ridiculous. So Cell is really slept on in my opinion. I think he's a very hard unit to use well, but if you can manage to use him well, you'll really see how good he is. He gets key on switching, he does an incredible amount of damage with his blast and blue cards. Yeah, he's got he's the full package really. He just doesn't have good defense, but he makes up for that with 2 health bars. So let's move on to 16, who is the tankiest unit in the game. He's ridiculous. I say this in every tier list video I make. He is the best tank in the game. He doesn't take damage from purples, that's how good he is. Except Super Saiyan 3 Zenkai Goku, of course. But other than that, there's not really a purple unit that can do much damage to him. He's just ridiculous, honestly. And of course, he can pretty much take out anyone with his purple card, I'll call it. His, you know, when he sacrifices himself with his ultimate. So he is a very good unit, and with that, he does buff the whole team. He heals a lot as well. So yeah, he's an all-round great support unit and the best defensive unit in the game. Next up, we have the purple Vegeta. I didn't have this guy until not long ago, and now that I have him, I realize he is just incredible. Like, honestly, he's the best support unit in the game, even though he's a range type, because of the amount of buffs he gives. And you guys will probably recall this from a video I made where I used Super Saiyan Rose, the transforming one, with this Vegeta and with Whis, and that was just ridiculous. This guy allows every other unit in your team to become an absolute monster, and he's a similar situation to Cell, where you just want to throw him in the middle of a Rising Rush, and if he dies, he dies. It doesn't matter. He's just going to buff the rest of the team up, and it's just going to be, you know, you're going to have a field day with the rest of the characters that you've got. So he is incredible for that reason. And next we have Vegito Blue. I mean, everyone asking me why he's so low. He is not what he used to be. I don't care where Game Press put him. Game Press, I know, put him number 4 on the tier list. He is, in my opinion, not number 4 anymore. He's just not what he used to be. Yes, he can be devastating, and yes, he is still incredible, but he is no longer the best unit in the game. He's not even close, in my opinion. I think all the units in front of him bring so much more value to the teams that they're on, simply because, I mean, Vegito Blue does everything you want a unit to do. He takes away buffs, that's incredible. His strike damage is really good, but it's still not as good as the Super Saiyan 3 Goku or the Android 18. He has a lock-in on his blue card, which is very good, I'll give him that. He nullifies everything with his ultimate, which is great. They just made him just a special unit, but Zenkais and Power Creep have caught up to him at this point, and he is still in the mix to be one of the best characters in the game, but he isn't quite there anymore, just because if you see all the characters that are ahead of him, they've all been released after him. So yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying. He's being power crept a little bit, and he is still a top tier unit. He's still, of course, in the top 10, but he's not what he used to be, and that's why he is all the way down here. I say all the way down here. He's still very high, but not as high as some people maybe expected. Then we have Bardock, who is the best Super Saiyan support in the game. Individually can do a lot of damage, but the reason he's not higher, like a lot of people would like him to be, is simply because he hasn't got a good team at the moment. He just doesn't have the best team. If Majin Vegeta was a Super Saiyan and not Super Saiyan 2, it would be a different story. I mean, I don't care that they're both blue, it would just be a different story. But right now, Bardock hasn't got the best team to use him with. He does have the Goten, which is right here, of course, but Goten isn't, you know, he's a support unit as well, and isn't, you know, a Saiyan unit. You want to use Bardock more with the Saiyan team, in my opinion. So I don't know, you can kind of work your way around it, but right now there isn't a very good Super Saiyan that you can run him with other than Goten, in my opinion. You could also run him with the Kid Trunks, which is this one down here, I guess. But yeah, at the moment, he's just lacking a top tier team that would make him, you know, that much better. So that's why Bardock is down here. Then we have Majin Vegeta, who, I mean, is very good. Individually is fantastic. He has a disgusting green card, has an incredible blue card, a beautiful legendary finish, and is all round a very, very good unit. He just hasn't, you know, hit peak he hasn't been on top of the meta at any point, really. He was amazing on release, but we've had a few more characters added into the game since then that have made Vegeta family fall off a little bit, so that's why he isn't #1 in the team right now, or in the tier list, I mean. And also on Saiyans, you kind of want to be running Bardock just in case you have a Super Saiyan around there. Unless you want to run the Majin Vegeta, of course. If you don't have any Super Saiyans, you're going to run Majin Vegeta. If you have Super Saiyans on your Saiyan team, you're going to run the Super Saiyan Bardock. That's just how it is. That's why these two guys are so close together, and they are honestly both fantastic units. Next up, we have Goten, who I have said is the perfect support unit before, and I stand by that. He is just great at buffing his allies and dealing out the damage at the same time, and I get the feeling that Vardos is going to be very similar to that Goten when she does release in the coming hours, I guess, when this video goes up. So yeah, I'm excited to see that Vardos and how she plays out. I think she'll be pretty similar to that Goten. Hopefully she does deal as much damage and can, you know, support the units as much as that Goten does. Next we have the Zenkai Kid Goku, and I'm going to get through these a bit quicker now, guys, just so we don't drag this on too much. Zenkai Kid Goku is very, very good. Of course, he has dropped down a little bit due to Goten being better than him on some family, in my opinion, and a few units just, you know, releasing after him and just being that much better. We then have Kefla, who is still very high up in the tier list, just because she's horrible to face, honestly. Like, she has good draw speed, so she can, you know, pull off infinite combos. She feints with her ultimate. She's just very, very annoying. She heals, and she's just, yeah, blast armor. She's got everything going for her. She's a great, great unit. And then we have Demon King Piccolo, just insane strike damage, and individually, just because of how much damage he does, that's why he is in the Z tier. If it was more team-based, this tier list, I think he would drop down a little bit more. Obviously, for this tier list, we do take into account the teams, but it's more based on the individual kits and everything like that. So that's why he is still in the Z tier. Then we have the Zamasu, who has dropped off quite a lot, guys. I mean, he has been incredibly power crept, and he is still a very, very good unit. But I mean, he got replaced on Future like a month after he was released by this Vegeta right here, this guy. But Zamasu is still a great unit, has a very good cover change, does a lot of damage at the end of the fight. But right now we're in a very fast meta. We're in 30 to 40 counts. The fight is pretty much over. And this Zamasu doesn't really benefit from that, even though he is still a very good unit. He's hindered by the fast pace of the meta. That's why he is in the position he's in. Then we have the Vegeta Blue, the LF Vegeta. He is still a very good unit, does a lot of damage, locks in with his ultimate, but is not the optimal choice for your future teams right now. And even your God Key teams, I would say, definitely run this Rose up here ahead of this guy. But if you don't have that guy, this Rose, you can definitely run this Vegeta and have a lot of fun with him, because he is very, very good, does a lot of damage, and can secure you a lot of kills with that ultimate, which does lock in, of course. So you can take care of a Vegito Blue, for example, with ease if you can get this guy in a combo with him and just use that main ability and use the ultimate. So then let's move into the S Plus tier, which has a few changes. This Kid Trunks has moved down, Vegito, the yellow Vegito has moved down, and so has this guy, this Rage Trunks. So has Rage Trunks has dropped down, and so has the Zenkai 7 Legends Road Trunks. We do have a few changes in here as well. The Ultimate Gohan moving up quite a lot, and we also have this Super Kaioken Goku moving up. Great Saiyaman 102 have dropped down quite a bit there, and we do have the Trio de Danger sitting pretty much on the high middle end of the S Plus tier. They are a very, very good trio to use together. They are very fun, but they're not the optimal team that you want to be running right now. They don't have much support, and they're running on a team which doesn't really give them many buffs at the moment. Let's hope that changes in the future and we can see them as a strong team in the meta. But yeah, other than that, guys, not many changes. A few units have dropped down to S tier, such as Zenkai 1 Beerus, the Android 21, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Bojack, the Broly and Chilai, the Purple Cooler, LF Piccolo, all this lot have dropped down into this tier simply because they're not what they used to be. They're still viable in PvP if you really want to run them, but it's not optimal and it's not recommended to do that really. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the tiers are just arbitrarily placed, not really in any specific order. It's just, you know, units that aren't really viable for PvP, so they're just placed there, all in groups of how good they are. And that's pretty much it, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash a like, subscribe if you are new around here, and turn on the post notifications to not miss another video, and I will catch you next time. Peace.